So I'm gonna start from like the very beginning, but before any of that, I'm going to mention a breathing problem I have right now. Hell no. No, my fucking lungs are black and they're charred and bleeding, so I'm peachy. I did go to a hospital several times. They just hospitalized me instead of doing anything because I always talk about killing myself. So they throw me in a mental hospital instead. They never actually help me. Anyway, um, but yeah, that's all I really want to start off with this before we start the actual recording. Candace is going to be recording all of the audio, and obviously she's going to send me the audio, and I'll post it onto YouTube. Um, she did tell me she didn't really want to talk, but if she wants to ask anything, she'll ask. Like she'll just interrupt and ask. I don't mind. But we're gonna start. Okay, so Candace started it. All right. So 6 years, right? We've known each other for 6 years, nearly 7. So this is probably gonna be the most accurate video because you're confirming it for me. 6 to 7 years. I've known you the longest and know this whole situation better than anybody else. I know it like it's the back of my hand. Which is also why I'm gonna say when I ask you these questions, I want an honest answer and no lies. If you want to look good, all you have to do is tell the truth. And if you lie, I'm not going to like make a big deal about it, but I will call you out that you're lying or something like that and tell you what you actually did or something like that. Just so that way you're understood. So, we met back in not August,
October? I thought it was September.
October 2020. No, because I joined in August. In September, I was just sitting there on docks every day before any of my OCs were made. Um, we met in October of 2020. Through Bub's bubblegum server with her police department, and everything was going good. I didn't see any problems that was going on around that time. But one day he left, probably because everybody else left, and you joined a new party. This party was a party you would join like every now and then already. From what I already gathered in information, you were leaving Bub's party every now and then to join Flutterfan's party, which I'm 90% sure is correct. I haven't really facts checked it, but I'm 90% sure it was Flutterfan. Either way, it was like someone's party.
Oh no,
Uh,
it was Aries' party, I think, with Blood and some other friends.
yeah, I've also met some of them too. You invited me to both their
It was
parties.
the one that guy Mikey was in.
Yeah, that's when I met Mikey.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this party, we've already talked about what this party specifically was, which is an ERP type party. So, how did you meet Flutterfan?
Honestly, I don't even remember. Like for real. Wait,
You
no.
don't even remember?
I think it was from uh Fluffball. I think I met her on the dock. I can't remember though. I think that was her.
Okay. That would make sense because
But I don't remember where I
Later
met Flipper.
information. The reason why the ERP started was because of Floofball, and Floofball was ERPing with a young Flutter fan, which is also why he got banned, was for grooming a minor.
Right,
And that party, obviously before he got banned, started as an ERP
right.
party. So, what kind of things were you guys doing in those parties?
I don't even remember. It was so long ago. Like seriously, I don't remember.
Fair enough.
The most thing that I remember is just hanging out. I don't barely remember the IPs.
Fair
'Cause
enough.
I don't even
I
remember
would
doing
try to
nothing.
focus and remember them anyway, but that
I
means you
know.
can't
I,
answer who was
I
in the
don't
party,
remember.
because I can't identify who specifically was there. But I'm like
I,
90% sure too that minors were in there, but I don't blame you because you were most likely not aware of it at the time.
I didn't know. And I didn't know Flutterfan was young at the time because Fluffball never told me.
And
I only
Fluffball
found
had
out
a lot of
until
secrets.
is he
So,
even gonna
no, he's most likely not going to be back. I could try pushing him back, but I don't really think that would actually work out in his favor, considering he actually did groom a minor. It's
surprised
it's
my team
either way.
and see the same thing with Aries.
Well, Eris isn't a minor, and by that time she was probably like
Oh,
19 or 20.
no, he was sexually harassing her is what he was doing. And I don't know why he wasn't banned. It was an RP that they were doing.
If it was an RP, then that's most likely why there wasn't a ban,
Uh,
because it's all fake. And if you know who Eris, obviously, she's a LARPer. She live action role plays. She's not really with reality,
yeah. I
and
don't mind
she's
that.
too immersive with it to the point where I actually just agree with everything she's saying,
I
so that
don't
way
mind
I
that.
don't break the immersion.
Right.
But
It's fine. I didn't care what she did, honestly.
from what I know, she's not actually easily manipulated or harassed or anything. And as of recently, when she partnered up with me, she became more independent. Um, Later on in that party, a few people got invited, and then those people invited the rest of the people who are known today, which is Void, Eclipse, and me, and a few others, but I already kind of forgot about the others.
You want to forget about the others? I'm kidding.
Before I talk about the others, though, there's the stuff between you and Flame, where these first allegations got brought up, where they actually first got brought up. Because everyone wants to say it was Luna. That's where I first brought it up publicly. But with Flame, this is when it first happened in 2021 at this point, because it was the end of 2020 when we met, so it was 2021. Do you remember the conversations you were having with Flame?
No, because at the time I didn't know she was young.
Okay, so this is where I call you out on the first lie.
You know, I'm being honest. I really don't remember.
Maybe this is just you forgetting, but she did tell everybody in the server several times she was 13 years old.
Yeah, I have a bad memory, so I don't
But
even remember.
also, what I will also say here in a few seconds, what ended up being talked about is that you started to have feelings for Flame and you wanted to keep it a secret because she was dating me at the time. Later on, however, you were like asking personal questions. I don't know what those specific questions were, but she was telling you, I'm 13 and you're an adult. We can't really be together. That's when she first told you these things, because there was many more times where she would come back and you would have these weird chats with her, and they were monitorized. And not only that, If you remember, eventually Flame and Coco were sharing an account, so my daughter was sharing an account with Flame. And you've already known my daughter a little bit, and you met her once. She is just like me. She's smart just like me. She ended up logging into the account and ended up playing Ponytone as Flame when she suddenly got weird messages from you. Instead of, saying, "Oh, this is Coco," she went along with it and she sent me these screenshots, which
No,
I can't really find them anymore, but they were you telling Flame, confessing to her pretty much about more feelings you had and telling her how it sucked because you were already dating someone, which probably was Eris too, but I don't actually have that information or the timeline of when you were dating her, but it was most likely her.
I know it wasn't Aries. Cause
Either way, the fucked up part was you knew she was with me, and Flame was always constantly bringing it up that she was with me. And then there's my chats with you when it comes to Flame. Do you remember those chats either, Max? Because I've reviewed all of the old chats as well.
sort of, but not completely. I'm being honest.
Well, it
Technically, I
should be
don't agree.
familiar since I'm about to bring up the topic of what you were talking to Dove about, but you were asking her about nudes. And you may have received nudes, but these were just Google images I found on Google. I, of course, wasn't actually going to send any fucking thing. And maybe it
One
was
side.
obvious, too. They were photos from Google. Did he just fucking leave? Max, we're in the middle of a fucking video.
Sucker?
The point of the video is finishing the video before you leave.
What was it? I didn't leave.
Well,
I've
why'd you
been here
say,
the
"Oh,
whole time.
hold up, be right back," or something like that?
No, I'm sorry.
Just stay with the phone or something. But
I
anyway,
tend to say that when I'm looking at something.
well
Sorry.
then don't look at something. You gotta focus on this if you want your story and your alibi to be exactly right, right?
Right.
So after all of the Flame stuff, eventually Flame decided enough is enough, and she ended up taking off from the internet because of it. Sounds familiar, right? It should.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Eventually, Gloria did the same thing. Floofy created his own server that he's in our server now. With the evidence and stuff, he was the one talking to you still. That's why we were able to get him back. But everybody split apart, and it was because of two reasons. One of those reasons was because of my alcoholism, because I was having a rough time dealing with depression. And this depression was coming from something that really fucked me up. And I probably should have brought it up with you since you're kind of a weird person when it comes to photos. But before any of that, I was getting sexually assaulted by my cousins, sexually assaulted by strangers in public, and sexually harassed by everybody at school. So, eventually, I ended up having a drinking problem, and I ended up being in jail for 6 months because of the underage drinking, and I ended up catching a felony because of it, which is kind of pretty dumb, in my opinion. But I guess rules are rules. And after that, they put me in placement for the rest of the year. And if you remember, I was raped that whole entire year. When I came back, I once again probably didn't mention it too much, but I did get raped. And there was so much fucking porn in my inbox.
Uh,
So, my next question is, when did your porn addiction start?
I I've had this for a very long time. I wouldn't remember, and I'm being straight serious with you.
So,
I don't
you've been
even know.
exposed to it as a child.
Not as a child. I know that once I was becoming an adult, I was aware of it, but like no, not an adult, like a teen. I think. I can't remember. I don't have much of a good memory when it comes to, you know. Sorry.
Okay, so more specifically, what got you into cows?
That I have no idea.
Like,
Serious.
there's
Uh,
that question has been on my mind for the longest time. Actually, is
I know, but I
all the
seriously
just the
don't
fetish stuff in general. I don't know where all that comes from. Like, did you
what.
have trauma issues or something with cows, or
No.
where does all this come from? Because I've seen some pretty freaky videos you've sent to me on Discord for X videos, and they're really, really, really weird. Like, they're not like anything I would say any person would actually jerk off to.
No.
They're really, really not just weird, creepy.
I feel like a friend showed me it. I don't remember. It was so long ago.
So later on, after all of the crew split up, you stayed around, and we ended up moving to your fans' party for a while. Everything was pretty great there. From what I know, there was nothing happening behind the scenes, and I still don't really fully know that if that's to be the case, but I would go once again with the 90%. It most likely wasn't happening because most of the time you were just hanging out at Party Island, being a goofball, being really weird, or just being extremely depressed, which confused a lot of people because this is why I bring the role playing thing. Like, I can never tell if you're role
Well,
playing or not
remember,
because
I was
you always
in a
add
domestic
in the
violence.
dots. Huh?
Remember, I was in a domestic violence situation still. I was still with Eli,
Well,
the guy who
even
constantly
after
abused
that,
him.
like, that's not just it. Like, even to this day, like like just how I brought it up yesterday. This
Traumatized me.
what are you role playing? What are
I'm
we
not
role
role
playing?
It's traumatizing. I
Did it
still get.
traumatize you so much that life is a role play now?
I don't think it's a role play. Okay, I don't know why people are saying that.
Well,
It's
the reason why
really
I'm saying it's a role play to you is not only because of the dots, but
I'm
trauma
just
dumping. Do you know what trauma dumping is?
no. I'm just used to writing the dots, and
It's
I'm just
so trauma dumping is when you get so depressed, you throw all of your problems onto other people who already have problems. Like, I have trauma
that's what.
issues, and instead of dealing with my trauma issues, I've been dealing with you these past 2 years, which is also why I still haven't figured out this hospital thing and why I'm most likely going to die in like a few years. Is because I'm
Uh,
too focused on you. There's no way I'm gonna be able to even get in a hospital anyway because I don't even have Medicaid or Medicare. So I'm and insurance at that. My insurance expired, so I could die at any second.
I didn't know insurance
And it's
expired.
because I'm focused on all of this. Yeah, insurance expires. You have to change your insurance every year.
Oh,
And a
okay.
new
Never mind.
insurance card. But
I forgot about.
I um things were going pretty good for a while. I didn't see anything wrong that was going on. And when I did, I wasn't too concerned about it because you were typically just chatting with adults.
Uh,
However, eventually this situation like shifted. In my old server, I had to delete a certain chat. If you already remember, I remember Eliza being like really fucking pissed about it.
he gets pissed
But
off about it.
I had to remove 18 plus chat because of stuff that was being sent left and right constantly every second. And
Eliza gets pissed
typically,
at everything.
well, here's the thing about these images, Max. They were all sent by you, and typically you would spam the one image. Like, I can't tell you how much chats I've looked at, and I just see one image over and over and over, and I have to scroll up twice before I see anything else.
Uh,
It's kind of disturbing too. It's like you're trying to force me to look at it, you know? But not only that,
Yes.
like I said, this wasn't my server where kids also reside, kinda, because it was my Ponytown role-playing server.
Right.
And eventually a kid somehow managed to see all of it because I didn't know how to work with roles to actually fully hide something. Because some of these kids were posing as 18-year-olds, like, their accounts would state that they're 18, but they're not, they're, like, 14 or 13, and they ended up seeing all of that, and I ended up getting in trouble for all of that, like, parents yelling at me, um, moderators yelling at me, friends yelling at me, and
Oh
even
no.
Eliza yelling at me because I had to take it down. But
You know yourself about
it's
everything. You
because
know that.
things weren't turned down a notch. I remember I would even tell you, "Hey, no spamming," and then you would spam over and over and over and over and over. That's also why I
Right.
don't like it when you use the ats, because that's when you're especially spamming. That's when I actually get notifications, is when you use the ping,
Right.
and, it's very annoying because my old phone would just go, "Doodip, doodip, doodip, doodip," like constant
Is that
fucking
you're supposed
Bitcoin
to put
notifications every
oh you
second. It was annoying,
shy.
and it would go on for 5 to 6 minutes straight, and I'm not even kidding.
I thought your ping was Fluttershy. Yay.
So after that, of course, the server died. I don't know if maybe you've already seen it because you keep joining it for some reason. It's a dead server. It's really fucking dead. Like, it was so dead, I created a new server, and I'm not talking about the Sonic one. I actually decided to create a Fallout Equestria D&D roleplay server for anybody who played Ashes Town, but I couldn't find anybody who actually did at the time. As of right now, I actually do now have people who do play Ashes Town who I know, but I need to reset up that server. But anyway, after all that, we kept going back on the Flutter fans party, and I was hearing things left and right whenever you would leave. You would come back super depressed and talk about how you were breaking up with Eris once again, left and right. Now, every time you did this, you were like always blaming her pretty much, making her like the bad guy, stating, "Oh, well, says this about me and she says that about me and she doesn't quite understand this and that." And then we end up agreeing with you because we're like, "Oh yeah, she kind of sounds like an asshole. She sounds like like a dipshit." And you'll do one of two things. You'll either agree with us and then eventually tell her that we agree with you, or you would call us the biggest pieces of shit for agreeing with you
But
because you love her, quote unquote, love her.
this is gonna get so many negative comments.
Oh no, not really, because this is you telling the truth. If you agree that this is the truth, then people have no reason to get mad because this is you coming clean. All of your videos, I'm just gonna straight up say it, they're not that good. Like the 1 minute video you posted the other day, like yesterday, it's just you saying a quick apology that wasn't sincere, and you were just sweeping everything under the rug. That's not really an apology. That's you getting rid of all of the evidence and stating, "Oh, well, now that I've apologized, it's over." It quite isn't over. Everything has to be explained, even the Luna stuff. That's why I started off with me, because it started with me. And I haven't really fully mentioned that. You were sending porn to me left and right, including dick pics. I still have those old dick pics just chilling in our old chats where you would take a bath, which is why I was kind of concerned about today, because you were taking a bath in these photos and you would just constantly take a picture of your dick. And if it wasn't in a bath, you were holding your dick with rubber gloves and trying to jerk it. It's pretty weird to send to a 14/15-year-old at the time, which is
Was so gonna
another
send
loophole I've noticed typically all these people are 14 through 15 or 16. Like that's typically the age range these people are. But going back to the main topic with Flutterfan and the whole Eris situation, eventually Eris did get invited back to the, or not back. Maybe she has been there once, but I haven't really been in that party for a while. But
What? No,
she
she
ended up
left me.
joining back,
She
and it
didn't.
was talk to Flutterfan about her side of the story. And I remember she was arguing with you, like she first joined because she was hanging out with you, and then suddenly you said something that pissed her off because you lied. That's where I first got the context of lie, the word she keeps bringing up a lot, because I may have
Well, I did.
first saw you lie, but I didn't actually read any of the chats. I was just sitting there trying to actually figure out what the situation even was. But she first discussed about how you were
What?
lying to her constantly about all of her friends, and she wasn't completely wrong. You lied to her about me and Flutterfan and Callie and everybody else. You lied to us about her, which is why she came off as a bad guy, even though she was a really great person when we first met her. She eventually left. By the end of it, I remember this was the, let's just say, the start of me and Eris's friendship, really. Because by the end, everybody left the part, or not left the party, they just got offline, really. And she stayed on, and I made her OC. And that's pretty much what caused her to join back later on. Is, oh wait, I know you. You made that for me. But these lies were pretty much continuing, I guess, sort of for like another week, and then they stopped, and then you guys were back together. And I brushed it off as nothing. I was still trying to focus on something else, which was with my relationship with me and Random Shadow with Callie, because me and her were having really huge problems. She no longer was feeling any feelings for me, and she was running to Flutterfan for everything now. And she never actually broke up with me. I ended up having to break up with her, which was something that was already very frustrating. And while all of this was going on, you were constantly spamming me about Eris this, Eris that, Eris this, Eris this, when I was trying to fix my relationship with Callie. Eventually, it concluded, and you were constantly telling me, oh, just get over it, bro. If I can get over this, then you can get over this. Which was kind of ironic, especially if you think about today, because you actually never got over it. Today is a good example. You still bring up her name. She doesn't care, but that it's the same scenario with Callie. That's why I look at them as both similar things in the way. Callie stopped caring because she moved on. The same way Eris stopped caring because she moved on. You guys ended up breaking up, and I was there for the breakup. I remember I was just chilling at your party eating tacos in the background when all of a sudden I see you guys are fighting while I'm eating my fucking tacos. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then she breaks up with you. After she broke up with you, she made me leave the party and she started her own party. And then we all joined that party, and that's how everything else started. And I wasn't really good friends with her at first because I didn't like the LARPing. I'm not a fan of LARPing. I like to roleplay, but role playing every single moment of your life. LARPing means live action role playing. But I'm not a LARPer and I don't role play with myself. I don't do any of that stuff. I just sit there and I watch. And that's typically what I was already doing with Eris because I did know Eris before I actually met her. I once again already stated I sat at Docs the whole entire time since I started PT. I pretty much met Eris way before I even met you, Max, because she was constantly on Docs too. And me and her did have a conversation at one point before, but I don't think she actually remembers that because it was a very long time ago. But me and Eris did know each other before I even was friends with you. Um, obviously what was going on before that breakup, like what caused the breakup pretty much was just once again lying and cheating and shit like that. Not cheating. Cheating hadn't been brought up yet, but lying and shit like that. But what had been confirmed, because there was behind the scenes stuff she didn't know about, which was stuff that was going on between you, me, and Luna, which was a huge fight I was having with you because you kept treating me like shit and you were walking over me like I was dirt, and you kept trying to fuck Luna. Like, I would constantly hear from Luna, oh, Max is trying to roleplay with me again. Max is trying to roleplay with me again. Max is trying to see nudes. To the point where she actually got manipulated into leaving me just to be with you. And it was because I was only calling her like twice or three times a week, even though I'm busy. I have a busy life. I can't call every single night. That's why even now I don't call Corey every night. I haven't even called her yet today, and she's most likely passed the fuck out right now. But eventually you guys broke up because of that. Things with Luna got confirmed, and more things were getting confirmed too behind the scenes. Obviously, by now's standards. Eris moved on with me, not because I stole her. Once again, I have to keep clarifying this. I didn't steal her. She ran to me, and she asked me for help, and those feelings eventually got brought on. I was the first one to ask her about these feelings because I eventually grew feelings, but she grew these same feelings too. She just isn't the type of person who asks about them, which is fair enough. And obviously, me and Corey were together. That's when we started my polyamorous relationship. Something that you also don't understand because you're always like, oh, come on, bro, you have two girlfriends. Why can't you give me one? Why can't I join your relationship? Polyamorous just means I'm with two people for a reason. And for my case, it's trauma. I've had so much people leave my life, including my family members, to the point where I feel like one of my girlfriends is gonna leave me, like Callie did. She was the main staple of that. And I had to have Void support me because he was that partner at that time. But eventually I grew into liking Corey, and eventually I grew into liking Eris, and that's why my relationship with them is stable. Because if Eris is gone, I crack. And she was gone. And the reason why she was gone is because of all this drama that kept getting brought up. Once me and her relationship started, immediately you kept posting over and over and over with my name in these posts on YouTube. So you were literally making me lose subscribers pretty much just because of it. Just constantly saying, oh, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. He stole my girlfriend. And oh, Eris, she's an asshole and she's a bitch because she wanted to be with someone else and not me. And oh, this and that. And it was constant. And I even told you at one point, you better watch what you say because if you keep saying things, eventually I'm going to make something public. And I gave you a couple of warnings too, because eventually I was like, okay, that's it. And instead of making it fully public, I put you in the group chat and I made you say that you were a pedophile. And you did. And I made sure to take a screenshot of that because I knew you were going to delete it too, and you did. But I kept it so that way if you kept doing it, I was going to post it on YouTube. And you did. You kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it to the point where those allegations started to become public, where you admitted to being a pedophile. But not only that, screenshots that were sent to me by Luna of how you were constantly talking about how she was your babe and you love her, but she's 15. And that's why I also was stating earlier before this call that love is a big word. You don't want to say that you love us, especially me, because I don't think you do. Like, and don't get upset about this. This is just the way I think of it. If you call me the N word, and then you say all these horrible things about me, and then you suddenly say you love me, do you think I'm gonna be like, I love you back? The answer is no. I don't think I would.
So
Because that shit is horrible. You did call me the N-word. Like, it's posted on my
no,
YouTube.
no.
You even commented on it, bro. You even commented. But I mean, not even that. I'm gonna exclude that for a second. The shit I didn't post because it's just so fucking dumb. You kept bringing up the fact that I called you dumb because you didn't finish school. I don't even know what you were trying to use against me about that. I was just calling you stupid. You called me stupid, so I called you stupid back, and now you were like, oh, help, help me, send help. He's being an asshole, help. And yeah, once again, I know about this. I've talked to Candace about this yesterday. I haven't talked to Dove about it yet, so Dove might be a little bit pissed. Though probably surprised at the same time because she didn't they didn't get any notifications about it. They didn't get any messages from you about it. They didn't get bothered about it, though they were still getting bothered about weird shit. So there is that. But I did mention that you were getting played. And was I wrong? No. And you probably still don't believe me on that. But the evidence was very, very obvious. You sent your address out to Dove and Candace, and then suddenly everybody knew your address. And yet you still decided to be friends with both of them, despite knowing that even after I told you, hey, this is going to happen and this is something you need to be aware of. And that was me testing you to see if you would even actually listen. Because one thing I always test you on is if you even listen to me, because you say you listen to me, but you don't. So I told you straight up, you're being played, you're being used. Everybody around you, even me, you can't trust. And you didn't listen. And that's affected you. That's the whole point. Yeah, so Candace didn't send the address.
I was aware about Candace.
Either way, Max,
I trust
even
her.
if you didn't tell them about the address, eventually I was going to find it through old chats. It still is in there in my old chats. I was just too fucking lazy to actually look through them and find them because there's so much shit to actually look through. But your address is saved on there. If I really wanted to and they didn't have to like courtesy to ask or anything or get anything from you, I would have just taken the 40 minutes to look for it because it is still there. I did eventually take the 40 minutes to check if it was still there, and it is. I could have just pulled out the address for myself. Either way, you were still getting played, even if it wasn't them too, because there's Floofy, who straight up admitted you were getting used. And you say that you're pissed about it, but I told you. This was something I warned you about. Like, tell me if I'm wrong, but I did tell you this was going to happen. Eventually, someone was going to come in and pretend to be somebody else to figure you out. And they did. I told you to be suspicious of anybody new you meet. And, well, you met someone new. They said they were 16, and you immediately kind of asked for nudes. But outside of that, there's the chats you were having with Dove and the current chats you were having with Candace. Though the chats you're having with Candace aren't inappropriate, it's just weird. I won't really talk about that too much. That's something she could talk about in her own time if she wants to. And I won't put her on the spot for that either. Just whenever she needs to and wants to. Dove, however, is 15, and I've heard two things as of recently. One of those things is a screenshot you don't believe is real, but we do have. I can't find it in the old chats because it's so far up now. But Dove is the one with that screenshot, and it says that you have a crush on Dove. That's something that you were lying about in a lot of your videos, is that no, I don't have a crush on Dove. That's a lie.
Say
That's you.
you
Like, I think it's ironic that you're like, that's ew, gross, ew. You asked a 15-year-old for nudes, though, so I don't know where this ew is coming from, especially since you've already seen the inside of fucking Luna's pussy, who's 15. That's the part that also gets a lot of people frustrated, is that can't come out of your mind, which is why you need to make a sincere apology. So that way it could all be forgiven, because nobody can erase that out of your mind at all. And I don't fully blame you. Luna is still that type of person who can be pushative. But as far as I know, because I did do my research, she wasn't the one who contacted you. You contacted her.
It was Void that brought her into the party. I know exactly what
Yeah, and
happened.
you mentioned that call before too, but here's another thing. There's this thing called the hang up button. I don't know if you ever knew what the hang up button is, but there's this thing called the hang up button. If people are doing weird shit, you could either
Hey,
hang
I
up or
understand.
report it. But instead, what I heard was that you joined in, from what I heard. And I
And
just want you
joined.
to,
She
yeah,
joined.
you
I
did.
didn't join in. I was
No, you
already
did.
on a call with. I was already on a call with him before she joined. I know
Levi, you
exactly
did
what
join.
happened.
They ended up doing their thing and you ended up joining in, and what ended up happening after that is that you continued to message her privately and she was privately sending you nudes while you were privately sending her a bunch of dick pics. I mean, I'm sure the chats are there somewhere. I'm not logged into your account anymore as of right now, but if I logged right back in and go through those chats, I'm sure they're still there. But I did see some of it, and from what I know, it was you who started the conversation after that call, excluding the call. The call to me doesn't matter at that point. Like, that's that information thrown out the window. It was just Void being dumb and Luna being dumb. I don't think it's great to do that on a call. I think what you could have done better is, as the adult, report it. Tell Flame or tell Void it's not okay to be having phone sex. He's a minor and Luna's a minor. It's not okay in general for you to even see any of that. So it could get you in trouble. That's why when your mom and Void's mom had to have a talk, it was because of bad things. They wouldn't have to have a talk if it wasn't bad. Just talking with Void in general is a bad thing. And you were already ERPing
By
with
the
Void a
way,
lot.
she didn't talk to Void's mom. She told me that she did that because she wanted to scare me and stop me from doing it.
Well, good. You shouldn't be ERPing with Void anyway. Like, that's pretty weird. And Void
You know.
does state you could say no, and if he doesn't allow you, then report it. It's as simple as that. It's not really that hard. If something
Mhm.
bad's going on, you just report it. What's Void really gonna do? Is he the big bad wolf? Is he gonna blow your house down? No. He lives in Canada. You live in California. You live like so fucking far. It would be like a 10-day trip to even get to you. But after that, well, not much has really been too brought up after that. It's just weird conversations and you trying to avoid the punishment, though there really isn't a punishment. And you're not really losing subscribers. That's something you keep bringing up is, oh no, my
I am.
channel, it's gonna
I,
go downhill.
no,
And oh
I
no,
kind of am
well,
because
you
I've been
losing your
noticing that.
channel is going under 100 subscribers, and not only that, under 50. You're still at 100, and you keep forgetting the fact that you beat me to 100. I was still at like 90 something, and you went past me in the matter of days. That's something you already forget like so often. You beat me to the 100 point in the matter of days. That's one reason why I got pissed, but nowadays I can congratulate for you for that. Like that's a big accomplishment. I was pissed off at the time because there's so much videos I edit and edit and edit and edit and edit, and they don't get much views and they don't cause subscribers, which is why I don't edit them much anymore now, because I don't really have the time to anyway. I'd rather just talk about it unedited, so that way the whole full thing just comes out. Even if I do accidentally say the N word 30 times, I just put it as unlisted and send it to people who actually need to see it. 'Cause sometimes I do that too, which is why I don't fully blame you for saying the N word. It's just out of pocket in the context of when it was sent, because I called you a white boy and then you suddenly called me the N word. Like that was probably not a good idea. I called you white, which you are white, and you said the N word.
Well,
And I
so
know you're gonna
remember,
throw in the, oh wait, actually I have 50% this. Well, guess what? We all have African blood. Does that mean I
like,
could say nigger whenever I want? Not really.
like, I'm gonna just say I'm also 50% black. Kidding.
That's the thing. Everybody thrived from one place and one place that started. The most place that gets brought up that's early in history is Africa. It's where
Yeah,
a lot of Bible stories take place too, is in Africa. We all thrive from Africa and we all have that black in us, but that doesn't mean we could say the N word.
wait,
Because
hold on.
people don't actually
What?
put one and one together. If you know what slaves are, Max, then you'll
Uh,
actually know why the N word
yes,
is bad. You don't call someone the
yes.
N word like, oh, that's my, my homie. That's
Well,
typically what it's used for
it's just you
now,
say it
but
for
nowadays, if you say the hard R, it just means you're referring to what it meant back in the slavery days. You're a hardworking black person who works in the fields and gets whipped all day. That's what a nigger is. And yeah, I'm gonna say it the word because I'm using it for educational purposes. And I know I'm not gonna get attacked for it anyway, because I said it like a
that's okay.
billion
Yeah.
times. And a lot of people in my neighborhood are black, so if they get mad, it's kind of likely not to happen because they already hear me say the N word left and right. And I say it in the context of my friend. I never call anybody the hard R. You know what I'm saying? And that's
You know
something
what
that
I'm
I've
saying?
noticed a lot too is you might not sound like you're probably not trying to be racist, but a lot of
No,
the
I'm
times
not.
you
I'm
come off
seriously.
racist. I remember this one chat I was having with your friends because you invited me to a server with all your friends, and one of them came from Spain and was learning English. Like they had a very fucked up accent because they just finished learning English and shit like that. And you told them they were speaking Mexican, which is racist. They were speaking taco, which is pretty racist. And then you called them black or something, which is also pretty racist
Ew,
because they're not
no.
black, they're brown.
Yeah, I don't
They're
remember
like
calling them black.
tan or something.
I remember the taco and the Mexican thing, but I don't remember calling them a nigger. And I'm
Well,
curious
from what
why.
I remember, it was along the lines of monkey. Pretty pretty weird word, obviously. It's hard to actually
I
say
don't
if that was racist or if that was just you
I don't
trying to be funny. But you called her a
I think it
monkey.
was just I think it was just a joke because I used to get called a monkey when I was younger because of how
I
like
hope it was a joke because that was after we like made fun of you and made you into a leprechaun and we're talking about Lucky Charms and shit and you were like, "Oh, you motherfucking monkeys." I was surprised you were pretty pissed about that image too. Like she actually took like 40 minutes of her day just to turn you into a leprechaun.
mm,
I watched her turn you into a leprechaun. It was pretty funny. Anyway, what ended up happening after that was the stuff of trying to get Eris back. One thing that always will piss me off about you, Max, so this is something you should take notes on so that way you don't do it again, but it's why I told you not to bring up Eris's name ever, and it's because of this fact. And it should be self explanatory. She's my girlfriend. You are the ex, and you keep running to me to fix your girlfriend issues with your ex, even though your ex is my girlfriend. That's like you telling me I should just break up with her and give her to you by force, which is essentially what you're doing. You're like, hey, I miss Eris. Break up with her so I could be back with her. Or you just straight up say, hey, let me into the relationship so I could be with Eris, which is pretty fucked. If I did that, that means my polyamorous thing was just fake. I only like two people. and I like the fact that Eris has a charming, childish kind of personality. She is grown up, but
So
she
did
still
I.
has that purity of acting like a child. But that's also why I have Corey around. She's mature, she knows how to grow up, she knows how to act in certain situations, and she's independent. Both of them are independent. Eris is planning on moving out of her dad's house soon because she's got a job and she's been working for a while. She wants to move out, and I'm proud of her for that. It's something she wasn't able to do before, though, because she was always spending her time on Discord doing absolutely nothing for people who didn't even care. So that's pretty much where the conclusion of this is, because also, um, a recent thing that was also said, which is the final piece of what was said from what I recently heard. And that was when you asked Dove if she ever took in photos of herself naked. Do you remember asking this? Because from what I know, it was either today, yesterday, or maybe the
I
day
haven't done
before.
it today.
Huh?
I'm too pissed off to even think right now. So I
Well, you shouldn't be pissed off at anybody but
am.
yourself. If I'm honest about anything,
I don't
you should
care.
be just pissed off at yourself because this is all kind of
I
something you
honestly don't care.
caused. No offense. And I wouldn't be saying the word "I don't care" because that's just going to make you look more bad. That's something I
I give
always
up.
bring up.
So
You give up?
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so do you want to look
Just
bad?
to make just to make people happy because I know that's gonna make people happy when I say I just give up.
Okay, but who said they're happy?
How was I supposed to know?
Exactly, you don't know. Nobody said they're happy about this, Max. Nobody wants you to leave, and nobody wants you to stay at the same time.
Not
They just want
sure.
you to change. That's the point.
I've asked that on my chat if people want me to leave, and I've already gotten
Yeah,
responses that
and you
say
know what
yes.
people respond as? They respond yes as a joke because they're fucking pissed. You talk to minors. That's a serious thing, you know? Of course
Yes, I'm
people are
aware
going
of
to
that, but
say
I haven't
yes.
done that.
You
Never
did.
mind. Fuck it. Never mind. God,
There's evidence against you. I wouldn't say no against
I'm
that.
such
Like,
a
there's a
fucking
plenty.
dick.
All I'm saying is that you need to admit it so that way you don't look bad.
This
That's
is
the whole
why
point of this
I wish
chat.
I was
That's
gay.
why I get
Being
frustrated when you do this whole thing of, oh, I give up, I'm an asshole, I'm a piece of shit. Yet there's nothing I said that actually is against you. All I'm saying is the
This is why I
evidence
wish
that's
I
been
was
brought
gay
up,
because I
and you
feel
can
like
defend yourself. You could state your end of the story and give your story on it, so that way I'm not the only one talking about it. Or you could just say, yeah, that's true. So that way people get that evidence that you know you did wrong, so that way
then
you
they're
can move
gonna
on.
and then they're
If you
gonna
keep
expose me.
denying, Max, here's the reality. If you deny that you did wrong, but it's obvious you did wrong, people are going to be mad. But if you admit you
They're gonna
did wrong
expose me
and you
anyway.
do the time that you did wrong, then people are going to forgive you. An example is when I went to jail. I admitted I did wrong and I served my time. Do you think people are talking about how I went to jail? Hell no. I did my time and I did it in my own place and I did it. That's the whole point. You come clean about it and good things will come after the punishment. A punishment that doesn't even really exist, really, because it already kind of is in place. The more and more this has to happen, the more and more shit happens, like how you got banned from Ponytown. That could have
Probably not
all
gonna get
been
back on the
prevented.
internet.
That could have all been prevented. Like every last one of those accounts could have all been prevented. Even my account, it could have been prevented if you had listened
Pretty
to
sure
me
I'm
like
never gonna get
a
back
few
to
years
me
ago.
anyway. So
Yeah, you're not.
yeah,
You did
I
see my
just
post, right? You're not.
yeah.
You're on a blacklist.
Alright.
Which you're already on a blacklist anyway. You're not just on my blacklist, you're on PT's blacklist. And a blacklist means people that can't join back. Like you're under a radar. People are watching you. The whole point,
That you
though, of why
want me
you're
to
being
forget.
watched is so that way you could be an honest person. The whole point is so that way you could stop being a pedo, you could move on from all this porn addiction, That's why I've never said kill yourself actually straight up. Every time I was referring to you killing yourself is the fact that you wouldn't actually do it. You don't even cut yourself. You wouldn't even cut your own pinky. You can't even cut your own hand. You can't do that. You don't know how to because all you see is if I do that, that's going to hurt. And of course it would. Especially if you jumped off a roof building that's not even that high up, you would end up just breaking your arm. That would hurt. It wouldn't kill you. You would just be in amounts of pain. That's something you need to realize. If by doing it and not succeeding, you're just going to be in a lot of fucking pain the whole time. And you could ruin your fucking life by doing that. Even just by killing yourself. You don't have a life after that. There is no afterlife, Max. I died once, so I can actually confirm it for you. There is no heaven. There is no hell. There's just an afterlife of darkness. Nobody's there around you. You're just surrounded in a black void all by yourself for the rest of your fucking miserable life of nothingness. Killing yourself is bad. Nobody wants to actually die. That's why they don't actually go through with killing themselves. They end up getting hospitalized because they end up coming clean about how they want to kill themselves. True people who want to do it don't even talk about it, they just do it. How do I know? I have 12 friends who can say otherwise. They're all 6 feet under. That's how I know. On the other hand, even today, I still do it with my axe. I chop my arm up, cut it into tiny little pieces on my arm, got blood all over my arm most days. I smoke cigarettes, which is a form of self harming because I have fucked up lungs. And a drug addiction because I've been smoking weed since I was 6 years old, and currently an alcohol addiction again. Even though I took that whole year of being raped, the whole point of that was to get off the alcohol. I'm back on it though, and it fucking sucks. I don't want to be on this shit, and I know you don't want these allegations. That's why I'm bringing it up. The whole point is to break the habits. Stop sending porn, right? To delete all of it. And that's why I've been supporting you this whole time, too. It seems like I'm not supporting you, but I really have. If I wasn't, then I wouldn't have talked to your doctor about your actual problems. And I wouldn't have bothered to even talk to you today. That's something you keep forgetting. If I didn't care, I wouldn't even be talking about you. I wouldn't even bring you up. Because at that point, you would be nothing to me. Right? That's going to be showing at least some form of careness, right? Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be telling you what you could be doing right. And I wouldn't be giving you the advice I always give you that you always seem to ignore. Is how to change. How to be an adult. We met when I was like 13, 14, Max, and I used to be very immature more than you because I was a child, and you were 18. I'm currently 18 and you're now 22 in like a few weeks.
Yeah.
Do you know how don't really look at it as a bad thing really, but do you know how like sad it is to know that I'm more mature than the friend who's older than me and he known me since I was 13 and I'm somehow way more mature than him all of a sudden? I went from being the most immature in the group to now being the most mature because I grew up. All of that placements shit, all of those times of being taken away from my family to go to jail, to go to placement, was that life lesson. And maybe, yeah, you didn't get it. Like, that's the difference. You got robbed, and I understand that's bad. But I got robbed too. I got robbed of my childhood, Max. I didn't have a real childhood. That's why I was so immature when you met me, is because I wanted to keep being a child. Even now, I want to have that youthness. I want to be a child, which is why I still act like a child here and there. But I understand that I'm never getting that back. It's gone. It's gone forever and it's out of my reach. I'm 18. Every last one of that is gone, and most of that was just me getting raped and sexually harassed and told I'm not who I am supposed to be. Just why I went from being a boy to a girl to being a boy to being transgender to being whatever the fuck I am now. I don't even know what the fuck I am now. To me, I'm just a cross dresser, but that's not even the right word for it. It's like having multi personality disorder because I'm so fucked with what everybody says that every now and then I just dress up as a girl, not because I want to cross dress, but so that way I can release what I did call breezy. That's why I don't like to be called breezy anymore, because breezy is a figment of a unreality thing. I dress up as a woman and breezy's out. But that's why Charlie exists. My name's Charlie. Why is my name Charlie? It's a non binary name. It's not Jeffrey like my actual name. My actual name is Jeffrey, and I was named after my grandpa, but I prefer to be called Charlie because I don't know who I am. I'm either a boy or I'm a girl, but I don't even have pronouns. That's why I don't really go by they, them, or he, him, or she, her. I do accept the he, him, though, because I was biologically born with a penis, but I don't have any gender, and I'm not a person. I'm a nobody. And that's why I get frustrated when I have to deal with you because you still have a lot of things. You still have a lot of people who are on your side and a lot of people who still support you even despite these allegations. I saw it on your YouTube. There's still people hearing about it and they don't care, which is fine. I just want the situation to be aware so that way I can have closure that you're moving on and I can move past it knowing that when I lose my friend, at least my friend is going to go somewhere good, you know? I don't want to like go back 3 years later to check in on you just to find out that you probably went to jail for touching a minor. That would fucking terrify the shit out of me. Cuz even
Really,
though we're not friends, I still always going to care about it.
like Luna just said something.
I'm not
Like
focused
not
on
Luna.
them right now.
I mean not Luna. Cadence. My bad. Candace. Jesus.
Oh, it's already been an hour and 2 minutes. Well, that's fucking. Well, I hope you can split it in half if you can, because it might need to be a two-parter. Yeah,
I guess
didn't realize it was an hour long. I'm gonna
I just
hurry up
realized
and
that.
finish.
Honestly, I just realized that when I noticed a ping I heard, and I look over and she's like 1 hour 2 minutes. Oh my god.
Yeah, 1 hour
Yeah.
and 2 minutes. So, yeah, pretty much what I was saying is, I just wanted to know that you're doing well, even if I'm not your friend anymore. And I want you to understand why I'm not calling you a friend. It's not because I hate you. I know that word's going to get used a lot by you, but I've never used that word, and I know you know that. I've never said I actually hate you. Yesterday, I ended up did saying that, but that's because you piss me off so much that I end up just saying, yeah, fine, I hate you. Jesus, fuck off. But I don't hate you. Hate is a very, very strong word. Just like love is a strong word. They're both similar things. You either love someone or you hate someone. I'm neither. I don't love nor hate you. We're mutual, and that's because I want to have mutual respect. So that way you know that I want to move on. I'm tired of all of the drama and shit, and I want what's best for you when I move on. That's why I'm still chatting right now. Even though I still say we're not friends, I'm still chatting with you because it shows that I care. If I didn't care, none of this would be here. Right? So, pretty much in these last few days, I'm going to convince people to not call the cops on you, though I don't think they're going to call the cops on you anyway. Cops don't take anything seriously nowadays, and I'm just finally figuring that out. Every cop in the US is just horrible and they suck at their jobs and they
If
don't
you
really
saw it
know
when
how to do anything. It's not even that they're abusing the system, they just suck at the system. They don't know how
the
to do their
cops
jobs.
here don't even do shit. So trust me, I've
Not
heard it from a lot
surprised,
of
it's
people.
California. California is
No, Eureka's
Hollywood.
police force isn't great. I've heard it from a lot of people.
Well,
It's
you're
not just
pretty much
California.
living in the hood, Max. You're living in
I
the
know.
hood. Why would the
No,
cops
I
be
know.
there? If they're there, they're just gonna get shot up by some gang members, bro.
We don't have
Like,
gangs, Eureka. I've
oh,
asked a
you
lot of.
do. You guys say you don't, but the same thing that's going on in Colorado is happening in California.
We
Bunch of
used
animals are
to,
being
but it's
kidnapped
not.
and they're all
It's
getting
not.
killed.
Yeah, I know about that. But we used to have gangs, but they don't. It doesn't happen anymore. I've even asked my teachers
Those people
because
killing animals are gang members, Max.
I know
They're a Mexican gang.
we don't. I don't.
So you
Yeah.
currently have gang members in your neighborhood. That's what I'm stating. The cops aren't going to do anything because that's not really their main focus. Their main focus,
Okay then.
yeah, their main focus right now is pretty much just capturing all these motherfuckers who are eating people's animals like
Yeah,
dogs
I
and
know.
cats.
When I heard about that, I was like, oh my god, I'm glad that's not my cat right now.
Well, I've seen it all over Denver. It's literally in the city right next to
It's
me, and
all
I
over the
have to
news
go
and
to that
shit.
city like nearly every day. And when I walk
I
through the
know.
neighborhoods, I actually witnessed one of these motherfuckers eating a cat alive.
Oh,
Like
don't say that.
eating
Don't
a
say that.
cat alive.
That makes me sad. Please don't say that. That actually kind of makes me sad.
Well, I think it was a drugged cat. That's the fucked up part too. Like that cat couldn't feel it because it was probably just overdosing on drugs or something. Because
Can we not
his
talk about the dead
arms were
cats?
just
'Cause that
twitching and
actually that
shit.
makes me sad.
Well, there was
And
a bunch of animals: raccoons, geese, birds,
let's just
crows.
try not to talk about the
Eating
cat
crows
stuff
are
because it
gross.
traumatizes me. I've already lost a cat, so I don't want to have to.
Yeah, I've witnessed all of my cats get run over by cars.
She didn't
So
get run over. She just kind of went out one day and then just never came home.
old age.
And I'm
So yeah,
traumatized.
I have it
And that
worse when it
trauma
comes to cats. Shut up.
and that traumatized and that traumatized me because I had that cat since I was 13 and it was she really was a deep support animal for me. So losing her was
Yeah.
already
So
hard enough.
so getting back on topic, what do you think needs to be done in order for change to actually happen? What are you going to do to have that process happen?
Uh, I've got such a bad headache right now. I can't even think. Sorry. Ah. Uh, Seriously, I've got such a bad headache right now. I can't even think.
Well, just think about all of the things you've already said before. What do you think actually needs to be done in order for all of this to be over, in order for you to stop talking about arrows, in order for you to stop talking to minors? What do you think needs to be done?
Porn addiction. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What'd you say?
Should quit the porn addiction.
Yeah, that's one thing you could do. What's the other things you could do?
No, no, you're gonna have to tell me.
All
You're
right,
gonna tell me.
I'll tell you for you.
I'm
With the
sorry.
porn addiction, it needs to be fixed. Delete every last bit of porn in your thing. Delete my email, by the way, because I can't really trust you with that anymore. It's not really fully you, but because of this PT shit, I really can't really trust anybody, not even Corey. So I need that to be deleted. I need Google Photos. I need my account to be off that. I need all of that off. The second thing that could be done is that you get a girlfriend. You may think it's hard, but it isn't. You clean up your hair a little bit, you put on some cologne,
Always have
dress up
to.
nice, and go to
Always.
school every day. If you go to school, like literally, that's how I used to pull chicks at school all the fucking time, dude. I just put on some collared shirts, nice pants, always sprayed cologne on, wear deodorant, take nice showers every morning, brush my teeth. I was able to get almost every girl at my school, matter of fact. And I'm not even a good looking guy. Like, I'm not that much of a good looking guy.
I want to make a dad joke out of that, but I'm not.
The reality, Max, that really fucking sucks when it comes to me and girls is that I'm 18. But if I shave, right, I look 16, and if I don't shave, I look like I'm 21. So I can't really get girls my age. That's also why I'm dating Eris, who's 23. It's because it just makes sense. Being with older women to me also makes sense because it doesn't make me look weird in one way, but also I enjoy being with her because of the age difference. She's more mature and she teaches me things every day about being mature as well.
We try not to talk about her too much.
The third thing about getting rid of talking about her is that thing of just dressing up nice and pulling someone. I will talk about the cadence. That I almost said cadence. Holy shit! God
See,
damn! You guys
exactly.
stop
See
fucking
what
me
I mean?
over,
It
bro.
sounds
That's
like
because of
fucking
you.
cadence.
That's because of you.
No,
That's
it's
because of
not.
you, bro. That's
I told.
because of you. I already
Shut up.
stated it before. Every
Shut
time
up.
you
Shut
talk
up.
about her, you say cadence, and I'm like, that's
I don't
Candace.
know why. I don't know why. Okay.
But anyway, with the
It's just
Candace stuff,
no, bruh. The name sounds so fucking familiar. That's why I get so confused with it.
well, yeah,
I don't
that is
know why.
understandable if you
Cadence,
have bad
Candace.
eyesight
Think
and you
about
can't read
no.
it
Think
real.
about it. Cadence, Candace. Doesn't it sound like it's familiar?
I mean, they
Cadence,
sound pretty
Candace.
close, I guess.
They
But
sound super
you
similar.
got me
So
pretty
that's the fuck.
fucked up with that. Anyway, I've heard
Okay, well,
about
that was
the
amazing.
I've heard about the crush thing you stated to her as well. And obviously
Yeah,
that isn't
bad.
illegal. It's not bad. However, there are some things that are most likely just hard for her to say. One of those things I
100%.
already do know about is that she has a crush on someone else already. She stated that in our server, so I already got that context. She likes someone else. Not sure if she told you that, but she already likes someone else. Second thing, you guys just met. Like that's the big thing that needs to be brought up. You guys just met. Same thing with the Dove stuff. You guys just met. You shouldn't take it any far. You shouldn't bring any crushes up. You guys just met. The best thing you could do is continue to be friends and become best friends. It's like a step process. You become strangers, then you're friends, then you're best friends, and then you see where it goes for there. But that's years worth of stuff, you know. It didn't take me just 1 week to be with Eris. Like I already stated, me and
Stop
Eris
bringing up
went
her name,
back.
please.
I'm using her as an example, so you're going to hear her name because I have to fucking hear her name from you 24/7. So just deal with it because I had to deal with it.
Sorry.
Okay? I'm just stating that. If I have to deal with it, you're gonna have to deal with it. Simple fact. Anyway, I met Eris before any of you. Well, not before any of you, but I did know her for before I met you, which is why that relationship ended up happening. I already knew her. With Corey's a little bit complicated. Corey didn't know me, but she was hearing about me constantly back and forth with Callie. My relationship didn't start with just, hey, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend. What ended up happening was Corey asked me out. She's like, oh, well, do you want to try to be this? And she was afraid I was going to say, no, we can't be boyfriend and girlfriend. And all I said was, well, I mean, I just got off a bad relationship, but I mean, we could try, see where it goes. And obviously, it went good. We had a date, we had more dates, and it continued and continued and continued, but it didn't happen in one day. That's why dates exist too. You can't just become boyfriend and girlfriend in one day or just be all kiddie and be like, "Do you like me? Yes or no?" Like the like the one check mark things with the paper paper plane saying, "Do you like me?"
Let's get all
Like
classic
the
and
first
throw a paper
episode,
plane
you
at a
know, the
woman.
first episode of Gravity Falls where Mabel
Oh God,
throws a fucking
no,
paper and
no,
she's like, "Do you
no!
like me?" Yes, definitely.
Don't start on that. No,
Well, yeah, that's essentially what it is.
I'm kidding. That was damn. They need to fucking bring that show back. Not gonna lie.
They are, from what I already
Seriously?
heard, they're bringing that show back. Yeah,
Hell yeah!
or at
Fuck
least just
yeah.
Bill Cipher. From what I know, it like
Why
something
just Bill
is coming
Cipher?
back
I
from it.
feel like that's just stupid if they're just gonna bring back Bill Cipher and not.
Well,
The main
Bill Cipher
character
makes sense. From what I know, Bill Cipher was in the Owl House, I guess. I haven't seen the Owl House, but I guess
really?
he's just like
It's
connected or something.
it's not as good as you think. I've watched it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not homophobic, but I don't like gay shows. I'll just state that.
It's a gay
I like
show. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of gay people in there. I mean, the
I
main
could tell.
character's gay, I'm pretty sure. But it sounds
Mm,
like a feminist show. That's really what I mean. It's like feminist type stuff. I
uh,
I like the animation and I like the story. I just don't like how
okay,
gay
yes,
it
yes.
is.
That's why that's what I was trying. That's what I'm. Yeah, I like the story, but I don't like the context.
Yeah, like it just feels like it's trying to throw wokeness in people's face. That's why I don't like it in particular, and that's why I prefer Gravity
Right.
Falls. It doesn't focus on relationships, and when it does it in a giddy way. Yep, that's a funny joke. Gideon, giddy.
Giddy up, giddy
So
up, giddy up.
yeah, it's something that they shouldn't really do is just bring relationships into the story,
I
but in
feel like
general
they
they
do it
shouldn't
way
throw it
too
in
quick. I
gayness.
feel like they do it way too quickly, and they just. I feel like they should just do it. Well, what the fuck are you doing, Candace?
Yeah,
God
Candace is
damn it!
smacking me. She's like smacking her keyboard and pretending it's me, I
No,
bet.
her keyboard is me because I've been a bad Max.
Yeah, you've been a bad boy. You know the
Fuck
guy
you.
from Despicable Me 3? I've been a bad
Oh god.
boy! That's you. That's you.
Oh, I think
I've
I
been a
had.
bad boy!
Wait, what's that? What's that one dude from? Oh god.
Oh my goodness. Anyway,
Whatever you do, don't look at chat.
don't look at chat. Every time you look, I've been a bad boy. Yep, that's you, Max. It looks like you too.
Oh, bad boy. Wait, what's that? What's that? What's that one
I've been
dude
a
from?
bad boy.
What's that one dude from Claudia the Chance of Meatballs? The one who dressed up as the baby. Oopsie. The one who did the
Oh, dude, I forgot that character's name, but that's also you. That's also you. The
Wait,
sardines,
what did
baby. That's what
oh,
I call him. I just call him the
I think
sardines,
I
baby.
made an accident. Wait,
That's
what did he
exactly
say?
what he said. Oopsie, I think I made an accident. Or Flint Lockwood. That's me,
Oh
bro.
my god.
I'm the
Oh my
police
god.
officer. Every time I see you, I'm just gonna be like Flint Lockwood
Flint
and start
Lockwood.
chasing you like that one
Oh my
song.
god.
Oh,
Imagine if they just.
oh my god.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Brent baby. Our baby
Oh.
Brent. Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, that movie was pretty fucking funny too.
I fucking love that
But
movie.
going back on
Anytime.
topic,
Oh,
no,
Flint
it's not
Lockwood.
really on topic, it's just me concluding everything.
She
Hold
did
up.
it. Flint Lockwood.
I'm concluding. I'm concluding. I'm making a
Come
conclusion.
on, she did Flint Lockwood.
So before this video goes any fucking longer, because there's gonna have to be split up into two parts, because I'm such a chitter chatter bitch.
You're an asshole. Flint
But
Lockwood.
I hope that this shows that you're trying to change. I hope that this shows the
Yeah.
viewers that change is going to happen. But I hope you know that that doesn't mean fully that things are going to get better. They just have to take time, and you have to just face up with all these allegations. When it gets brought up, you need to not cry about it. You need to straighten up your back and state, yeah, it happened, and I did do it, but we moved on. As long as you can man up and fess, I did do it, but I moved on, and it's all in the past, then you're good. There's a saying, Max. Tomorrow or to yesterday is history. Tomorrow
Yeah,
is a
I've said
mystery,
that before.
but today's a gift. That's why you have to cherish today, Max. Don't focus on what people are saying about the past. Focus on now. That's why I'm so glad you, despite all of this, you're still working on your channel. I don't want your channel to be taken down necessarily. It makes you happy. And that's your peace.
Exactly.
That's what puts you at peace. And whatever is making you not do any of that, I should support. And that's what the YouTube's for. It causes you not to do any of in
Are we still gonna
conclusion,
stay on call?
I don't know.
Oh, boy.
Probably. I don't know. Anyway,
I
in
don't know.
conclusion, um, changes are going to be made. I can't have you featured in my channel after that. This is the one exception. I've already told you this. I can't have you in my channel for a while at least. If there are changes, then I'll feature you every now and then, but the live streams will stay off. My brother did convince me to keep streaming every day so that way I could get my subscribe button and I could start making profits on Twitch. So that's why I've also been streaming a lot lately, but I prefer to do my own stream so that way it could get me to get paid. That's why I haven't been trying to do Rec Room or anything like that. I want to make money because I can't really make money right now and it's a side hustle and I need that money so that way I can pay for more frozen dinners that are in my fridge. But
I
yeah,
can grow my trash, and that's okay.
so yeah, this is pretty much the end of the video. Everybody who's watching, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel and
Oh my
turn on
god,
the
yes,
bell and
no,
make sure to leave a comment
no.
about your favorite part of the video. Yeah. Anyway, see you guys in the
Bye,
next
guys.
one. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Do sub to at Kriya Mirabit for 2-0. Help them reach to 100. I will be having my own interview with Claire soon.